1. Naofumi's personality development would be drastically different. Canon Naofumi becomes cynical, distrustful, and hardened after being falsely accused of sexual assault and exiled from society. Without this betrayal, Naofumi would remain idealistic, cooperative, and more trusting, likely trying to work with the other heroes to fulfill their mission. His darker, more complex personality, a core of his character, wouldn't develop or would do so much more slowly. Crown 2. His relationship with Raphtalia would be completely altered. In canon, Naofumi buys Raphtalia as a slave because he is shunned and cannot get companions any other way. Without being ostracized, he'd likely form a traditional party through normal means, potentially never meeting Raphtalia, or at least not forming the same deep emotional bond. The master-slave relationship dynamic, and the healing arc for both Naofumi and Raphtalia, would not exist in the same form. Globe showing Europe-Africa 3. His relationship with the other heroes would be less adversarial. The other three heroes view him with suspicion and contempt largely because of the false accusations. Without this, they might have worked more cooperatively from the start, although their different ideologies and playstyles could still cause conflict. However, Naofumi might not feel the same drive to outdo them, which fuels much of his progression. Crosswords 4. Melromark wouldn't be exposed for its corruption so soon. The mistreatment of Naofumi brings to light the racism, favoritism, and political rot in Melromark. Without this catalyst, the queen might not return as early, and the kingdom's systemic issues might have stayed buried longer. Maltese manipulations would likely continue unchecked for longer. Chart increasing 5. Naofumi's growth would likely be slower. His forced independence leads him to innovate in shield use, business, alchemy, and monster taming, out of necessity. If accepted by society and supported by the kingdom, he'd probably develop more linearly, relying more on help than ingenuity. The underdog rising theme would be largely absent. Water Wave 6. The waves might be handled differently. In canon, Naofumi takes the waves seriously and treats them as threats to real lives, not just game mechanics. If he were working with the other heroes from the start, coordination might improve, but their tendency to treat the world like a game might also hold him back from preparing properly. Collision 7. The story would be less emotionally intense. A huge part of the rising of the Shield hero's appeal is Naofumi's journey from being broken and betrayed to slowly rebuilding trust and proving his worth. Without the betrayal, the story becomes more of a standard isekai, potentially better for teamwork, but with less emotional weight and character growth.